All right, y'all, we have the computer, we have computing, the Putin, we have the Russian collusion, we have all things made in China, it seems like. And we have this man named so-called Tesla who has made his money with electric cars and not oil. And we are in a bridge system, and we saw some technologies and stuff come out that were taken away, such as a car that ran on water. Saw different styles of electric cars back in the late 1800s. This petro system, this gold to the digital gold, the black gold, all these things are telling us a story about this black light, this black symbiotic relationship with this venom and those things that are growing over the people that's going to consume them. And that Spider-Man is coming in to be taken over by this thing in this multiverse of DC and Marvel as it comes to crossroads. So the computer, the made in China, all these things being shipped into our nation, the pharmaceuticals, the agriculture, microwave, all those things are being brought into us one way, shape, or form. The Americans are just eating it up. The motion picture given life, this Hollywood image, TV, whatever. Okay, who owns these things? All right, who is this Hollywood production, that stuff that goes back to 1910, 1911, and you're in that 1911 again as far as your 9/11 with the one 9/11 for that 45-47 Trump. And this is from one time frame to another time frame, and it's gathering up the so-called people that live under the so-called projection and box and whatever else. And there's people who's been shown this projection and box, putting it together and being able to break out of it in a way. And that's where we're under this Neo-Assyrian Empire of the BC 9/11, and that Neo takes you to the Matrix, and where you are realizing this Matrix. And you got to connect together yourself. You got to create your own legend. You got to use your own highlights and all those types of things to start this thing. And you got to turn on your brain first. You got to get that oil. You got to get that light going and work it. But this is where that truth community, so-called, has been laid upon the earth. All this knowledge, this window into heaven, this Christ consciousness is being put upon the earth, where we can go and gather and seek this truth, and not everybody's truth is the same, and to where we can break out of this shell, and then we're going to have one thing eventually all put it together as we're in this golden ratio or whatever kind of thing going into a point in time. But this golden ratio is tied to different wheels on the clock, and these things intermingle into this clock of time. So nothing is just like turned off in a day, or as far as the physical means. But this is where we see these things where they can peter in and peter out one to the other, and then eventually the Tao will stop working once it's just a level system where you're and moving. Like eventually you get out the last piece of trash out of your old house that you moved in. And that would be when the final lights go out on the Dow, which would be on the long game, as far as the numbers I see, that I've told you about before, would be your 2029 time frame. But this is where you see the intermingling of this now with the Tron Dow, Justin Sun, World Liberty Financial, Russian collusion, crypto. Nobody knows who created Bitcoin, but we know all these other things. And so the Bitcoin is the Bitcoin, the trap, and those types of things. But and that trap is the rapture, and that's where your Bitcoins are wrapped up in this, that, and the other. And the real Bitcoin would be your so-called American Bitcoin that your Eric Trump is involved in, that he I think announced things with the day after Trump did his Labor Day announcement for his World Liberty Financial. And this would be like the Lady Liberty giving birth to another child, and those things as we're going from one America to another America. But as this world order is bringing equality to the earth, America wants to say, well, we're the best. We're nobody. equal to us and all those other things. So that's where that kind of is being gathered up, and then the redistribution of whatever they got basically is all going to go upon the world, and we're going into this equalized position on these nations as far as the trade and whatever else has been taken through America's strong arm being the bully on the playground. If we're not going to do that, we're just going to go in and invade your nation, kill your leader, take over, put whoever we want in, and that kind of thing. But while all these things are done into a way to get us into, it's where the emperor, and there's a hidden emperor, or the kings are set there, and then the emperor controls the kings, but the kings are there to go down and to rise and whatever. But this is where you have the sun that controls the earth. There's this projection, there's this light that runs everything. We're controlled. While we are free, we are not free. We are all predestined in one way, shape, or form to do this that way or that way or whatever. And then you also have where we're naturally predestined in our natural light, but then this begotten sons that are given to us on this world also predestine us in one way, shape, or form. And then your parents predestine you and those types of things. But so the food, the drink, the entertainment, the stars that people watch, all these things can be intermingled into a spy network, into a thing to take over this or whatever, but it's not necessarily to take it over. It's to transition from one to the other. Either way, everything, we're just been in a bridge, and that bridge is being torn down, and then that's where you have all this stuff is moved down over, and then eventually you got to figure out, well, how are we going to take the bridge down so nobody can get back over? Okay, so that would be the tricky part as far as how they do that, or they just boom it and then explode it, and that's where you can see a nation of desolation coming in as far as the hard point, and you see them doing the World War III and the AI taking over the nukes or whatever else, and how all this can kind of go into a little sweet spot with the crowd strike and the spies that we're told about, and the AI and different AIs. Some are good, some are bad, not all are equal, and whatever else. Some countries have it here, some countries have it here. So this is where the darkness upon the deep is. The AI is just this white noise. It's equal in light and all things, and then it's how that person uses it as a tool to do this, that, and the other. And then also AI is merging in with us, and then that's connecting us to the alien stuff that they're going to be warning people about more than likely. And that's where some of us have gotten, or if you talk to people or whatever, I've shared things like this, but get downloads. People at work tell me, they're not like saying dreams, they're saying, I got a download. Like, it's like new type of verbiage I'm hearing as far as since Corona has happened. Like, but people are getting downloads now. And it's not information that they're normally used to. I'm like, dude, I got that download years back. Y'all are like finally catching up and those kinds of things. But so this can be all natural, it can be all artificial, it can be scripted, non-scripted, real, not real, all these things all at once, as we are in this world and we're real, but we're not real. We're some type of holographic projection, but we're also this liquid metal machine, and we're also this invisible power. Then we put off this torus field that connects to the torus field around us, that connects to the toroidal fields and all these other things. Okay, so and it just means how in tuned are you into that ground and to that light and that ground around you for that culture and whatever else. But they keep you in a invisible petri dish, so you can't ever realize that you're trapped in there. Just go around in circles. The so the conspiracy against America and all those things, those can been done since like Kennedy on one step, and even before that with the steps of Hollywood, and then before that we saw like the steps of vaccines and the flu and all those things being developed. And then in the 77 we saw like a flu thing with China, or whatever, but all those things are kind of like stacking in. The major flu outbreaks those came in after the Hollywood, and then the polio and all that. So all these things and the so-called germ theory, they could be making this into where there's like a literal germ theory where like you're in that flux capacitor, and that Wi-Fi and all those other where that flux capacitor is that flux, the sweat for connecting two time frames and whatever. So that sweat, and you're going to the gyms, that bridegroom area, and you're going to the sauna and sweating shit out with people, and you're sitting in old herpy water next to the pool and whatever else is going on. So when chlorine, it evaporates off. So when this pool water is sitting there and it's there long enough, there's no chlorine in there, you're just sitting in fucking herp water or hep water or whatever the fuck is going on. But yeah, man, all this stuff is going to be coming out, and this is why people are all scared to touch, or why they think they get this, that, and the other from this, that, and the other, when they didn't get that. But you got the RNA changer, so now shit's going to go into a replication form to where you can't fucking touch shit. Okay? Or you can't have people fucking cough on you, and that's where you go into the Mars. The Mars red planet is coming for you. As a Mars red planet comes for you, you're just gonna fucking buckle, because the aliens are among you. And they're inside you. They're gonna just be fucking popping out. You're gonna be fucking on the toilet as your king is giving birth. And you're gonna give birth to a big log George Washington's gonna have to chop down to get down that old pipe. You can get the parvo shit. Just spray it all over for the crapture rapture.